Welcome to Essential Python Expressions. If you're already familiar with Python, make sure that you head over to the user guide, head down to the Python category, and then read through the Quick Start tutorial Introduction to Python in TouchDesigner. This is all the same information that we're going to cover today and lots more that will help you get moving right away. If you're brand new to Python, that's okay. And in fact, we're going to begin by looking at some of the most common expressions that we're going to use here inside of TouchDesigner. Let's begin by opening up the Create dialog, heading over to Components, and adding a geometry component here into our network. Here in our geometry component, let's go ahead and write a simple little expression to get our operator to animate all the time. I'm going to use the expression abstime.frame. Now, abstime.frame is an expression of the absolute amount of time that has elapsed since TouchDesigner started running as expressed in frames. Now, this is great because as an expression, we can actually do some math right here inside of our parameter field. So we could slow this down, for example, by multiplying it by 0.25, or we could speed it up by multiplying it by 2. Now, this is great, but this value will count up forever. It's going to keep going no matter what. If we wanted a value that, say, reset at a specific interval, we might use modulus. So let's go ahead and add a constant chop here into our network. And let's connect a trail chop to this just so we can kind of better see how this works. Here in our constant chop, let's open up our parameter. And here in value 0, we're going to write the expression abstime.seconds. Now, just like abstime.frame, abstime.seconds represents the absolute amount of time that has elapsed since TouchDesigner started running as expressed in seconds. Now, this is great. This value is going to continue to count up forever, but let's say that what we wanted to do is we wanted it to reset at 2. So by using the modulus or percent sign, what this will do in Python is it's going to make sure that we go up to the value 2 and then return back to 0. This is a great way for us to build these simple little ramps that we might use in lots of different ways. Now, one of the other things that we frequently do inside of TouchDesigner is we use the concept of path. And one way that we can see that is by looking at our parent. So let's go ahead and add a container here into our network. And let's head into our container and add a text component. In our text comp, here in the text parameter, let's use the expression parent.name. Parent.name is going to return our parent operator's name here in our text field. Now, we use this kind of idea all the time. And in fact, one of the things we'll see is that if we change the name of our parent, migrate comp1, for example, that sure enough, that updates what is evaluated in that expression. Let's copy and paste this. We can see how the same thing is expressed here, and in fact, it's updated with the name of this operator. Now, this same kind of idea is really useful if we want to know the location of an operator. So let's head into our migrate comp3, but this time instead of parent.name, let's just use parent. Now what we'll see is instead of getting just the name of our operator, we have the operator's entire path, /project1 /container migrate comp3. And if we look up here in our pane bar's address, sure enough, that is the address for where our parameter lives. This is the path to our operator. Let's make a copy of this operator so we can see that that updates just like we might expect. Now, this is incredibly powerful, but even more powerful if we take a look at one other feature. So parent, by itself, without any argument supplied, will return just the parent of this operator. But if we were to put in a value like, say, 2, this will return the grandparent. So not migrate comp5, but project1. Now, we could use the same idea, right? So maybe we don't want the path. We just want the name of this operator. We could use that same idea here. There's one other idea that we use all the time here with respect to our parent, and that is going to be digits. So let's take a look inside of migrate comp6. So I just made one more copy. And this time, instead of parent, we're going to do parent.digits. Sometimes we just want to get the integer, right? Just the number that's involved with our parent. And digits will return just that value for us. Now, there's one other way that we can get digits that's incredibly useful, and we can see this with an eval.dat. So I'm going to grab an eval.dat here, and I'm going to use the TDU module. The TDU module is a set of operations all in Python that we have access to here inside of TouchDesigner. And the notation for this looks like tdu.digits. And now any string that we enter here, for example, hello world 10 or 19, is going to return just the digits from this string. We use this kind of operation all the time when we're trying to extract numeric values from strings or from paths. This is just a few of the types of things that we do all the time here inside of TouchDesigner, especially with expressions. And hopefully this starts to get you thinking about what you can do.